We are here with the FRESHeTECH team. It's really cool because I was on Amazon browsing for some shower speakers because I do bring my speakers into the shower every time, and I eventually found out that it was my fraternity brothers who were involved in this. So I got in touch with John and I decided that we should continue the conversation here today on our show. So welcome, guys.
Howdy. Thanks a ton for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So first of all, what is FRESHeTECH? Are you guys fresh laundry, fresh food? What's so fresh about you guys?
It's interesting. Whenever we originally created this idea, this concept of being able to control your music while in the shower without having to step out, we really didn't understand what we were getting ourselves into. And so the name FRESHeTECH kind of came from a collaboration of just really the motivation of our products. We wanted fresh, if you will, to be something that meant invigorating, new, exciting, and obviously the technology aspect, and then the E for e-commerce or electronics, because that's really where we started. Our bread and butter is just all online, and that's kind of where we got it from there.
Since then, you have 900 ratings and glowing reviews. Tell me what it's like to own a market on Amazon.
Do we actually own one? Oh, that's awesome to hear. Because we feel we got a long way to go, but we're doing our best.
So what's it take to get there, Adam?
So I guess it took a lot of strategy around making sure, A, we had the right product, B, we were early to the game, and C, we made sure that our content was good, very good for SEO. So just like Google search engine optimization, Amazon has its own, and we made sure to optimize for that to get ourselves ranked really high on that. And it led to a lot of affiliates pushing users to buy from our website. Put buy through Amazon. It led to just high ranking, and the more reviews you get, the higher ranks you get. And now we have an automated feedback system through Amazon that whenever you purchase a product from us, we email you a week later, we email you 2 weeks later to encourage you to write a review. So we either hear from 99% of the customers really positive things, and the 1% that respond that didn't have a positive experience, we figure out how to solve that.
And your reviews though are glowing, and you actually have people fighting for you guys and saying, "Oh no, all those other guys are fakes. Stay away from them." But so with so many competitors, how do you stand out against the competitors and prove that you are the best?
We mainly did that by taking the approach, we wanted to prove our quality. So a lot of the reviews that you'll see that are third-party reviews, we sent them Splash Shower Tunes and we sent them a knockoff, and we let them compare and them use someone else's words, not our words. But we've also created a lot of content. You'll see Cole under a mustache videos where we show the differences between our product and the knockoffs, how to identify them, what benefits you'll see from ours, whether it's better sound quality, longer battery life, and just better water sealant, so it'll just survive for a much longer time as a product. And so we make sure all of those things are clear, and we keep our integrity around it. We charge on our website $40 plus $5 shipping for our product, and you'll be able to find a knockoff for half that.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys think about the competition often, or is it sort of on the back burner?
I think in order to stay ahead of the game, you always have to think about the competition. And we're not talking about other competitors that are making these knockoffs, but talking about the big boys or the 800-pound gorillas as well. We're always looking to take a different angle or a different strategy to be able to differentiate ourselves from these large competitors and even people who are on the same level as us or just a step above. So when we're innovating our products and we're thinking about how to create something new and fun, absolutely, we are thinking about our competitors and what their products lack.
And your competitors, though, started out as friends, one of them. Is that correct? Well, so, John, you were telling me about that patent war. Can you tell our audience a little bit about that?
So I guess it started out with when we originally created the product, we came to the table and didn't really it was a side project, and I'm going to use Dan's term. We were just trying to make side beer money. And so we looked at doing it what's the cheapest and easiest way to launch it. And that led us to make a few mistakes along the way that at the time we weren't really worried about who owned the rights to what. We were just wanting to buy a bunch of products and sell them. And that's where that led the knockoffs allowed to kind of chase us. The trademark issue that we ran into was
this. You're not aware of this one. This one's pretty rough.
So a trademark troll from China, patent and trademark troll, they basically trademark names of companies or products that they haven't seen trademarked, and they'll illegally lie on patent USPTO paperwork, which if you're in the US it's an issue, but they're in China, so it's not an issue. They'll trademark it, they'll sit on the name, and they come to us and try and shake us down for money, or they try and steal your listing from Amazon. So they were one of the knockoffs selling a knockoff brand of ours, trademarked one of our names, went to Amazon and said, we're the real guys, and for about 4 days were able to take control of the Amazon listing. We ultimately threw in Ian, one of our fraternity brothers. His boss was a former VP at Amazon, and he said just email Jeff Bezos from Amazon himself. And we emailed him, and within a day we had a high-up Amazon rep helping us, and within a week all of it was removed and the knockoffs were kind of cleared out from our listing and the major problems were solved. But it took us about 4 months until we got the trademark back to our name.
So the basic lesson is just if you need something, email Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. So knowing what you know now, then, what do you wish you would have done differently? How would you advise other people to not run into this issue?
All right, so we launched all-terain this past month, all-terain sound, our newest product, right here. And so we took a lot of the lessons that we learned from Splash Shower Tunes and the issues we ran into Splash Shower Tunes to this product to make sure we did this product correctly. And so those lessons were really from day one. We looked around for a lot of time. We spent weeks looking for the right factory. We tested the factories. We saw products that they designed, and we inquired whether we had the rights to buy them. And we found a factory that basically said, no, someone else owns the right to that. We're not going to sell you it under the table, which we took as a great sign. And that's what led us to start to work with them. And we were kind of very hands-on on the process of designing the molds from our side. We patented it immediately after we finished the design here in the US to protect ourselves. We made sure all Bluetooth certifications were in our name. And Bluetooth works with customs to make sure all products that come through the borders are done correctly through Bluetooth's right terms if you're using their logo. So that is a measurement for protection for us. We made sure we had the right FCC certifications, CE and ROHS certifications, as well as inside of our mold on one of the pieces inside, we have a number imprinted, that's our number. So if knockoffs do start appearing, we could quickly and easily identify if they're from a separate factory or if they were our exact factory producing them. And we took a lot of steps kind of like that give us just a little edge on knockoffs, and we'll probably get products that look like this in 6 months or 8 months or 12 months once we prove the market. But we've made the strategies that we've taken have made it so it can't be exactly like it. They can't try and use our name. They can't try and use any of the Bluetooth certifications or any of the FCC certifications that we have. So that gave us a lot more protection, and we'll encounter knockoffs most likely in 6 or 12 months, much lower quality ones then, but we're not going to run into the problems that we ran into.
At what point in a startup's evolution should they file for a patent for their product?
It's a good question.
We have an internal struggle about that because there's the question of we don't know how far we really are, and we're exploring a new idea right now on a product that's a variation of this. And the question becomes, do we file it today because we want to get a utility patent started so it'll get that process going faster? And so if anyone found out about our idea, we're still going to be the first ones through the gate. But the other side of it is, we don't know exactly all of the aspects of how we want it to work. There are 3 different ways we think we can make it work, and we're not sure which one's the best to use right now. So for instance, that product, we haven't filed it. We filed a provisional patent simply to give us that soft protection and give us that inroad that in 2 or 3 months from now, when we really have the better vision of how we see our future version of this to work, we can work off of that.
It also depends on the product that you know, whenever people ask us that question, it's hard to say, because for products like us, it's very important for us to have intellectual property. Other products, it might not be, and it really depends on the product and the market in which that you're launching in, for you to really kind of grasp, hey, should I file a patent, should I not? And also, patents, you gotta remember, patents are only as good as what you have to back it by. So if you don't have, you know, the fight behind it, then it could be a waste, you know, in that case. So it's really dependable.
What advice, just on a personal level, would you give to a founder who either has a new product or maybe a chef with a new recipe that they're trying to create, to go for it? Because it is really scary, because you think people are going to steal your idea.
I think the biggest step is to dive in and do it. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't do it. With that said, I think it takes a tough stomach, and people need to understand it's likely going to cost way more than they think and take way longer time frame than they think, and be way more stressful than they think. And the partners that they immediately think, oh, I know a buddy who's the head of Target. It's not as easy as that, and it never is. And so I think people need to have the realization from the start that those things are much more difficult. But with that said, I think the best way to do it is you got to jump in 100% and really just go for it. Because I know a lot of businesses that kind of started and they said, let's try and do it step by step, and I'll take my time and keep a full-time job, and hopefully I'll get there in a year or two. And it seems to always take way longer than that. The easiest way to do it is fully commit.
So it's worth it 100%, right?
Yeah.
It is. I mean, even if the product or the idea flops, for whatever reason, it just wasn't a good product or it wasn't a good recipe, at the end of the day, the learning experience that you gain from that failure is going to be able to propel you forward on a new idea. And the people who create these ideas, these doers and dreamers, if you will, they always come up with additional things. And so learning from those failures or those failed attempts, it'll be able to it'll be able to help you in the future.
So now,
also remember, it's a lot easier to make your second, third product than it.
So now, regarding your all-terrain product, your launch was delayed a little bit. What was so important for you guys to get right?
So a few pieces delayed our development of it. We wanted to make sure that the hook on the product felt light and felt flexible, and yet could withstand a 6-foot drop onto concrete, direct on it, direct anywhere on it, throw it, anything like that, to really be able to meet the use cases that all of our customers seem to be using it for. Hiking, biking, whitewater rafting, whatever it is, kayaking.
Horseback riding?
Horseback riding.
Horseback
absolutely.
riding, exactly. So we wanted to make sure if this fell off of someone who's horseback riding, it's going to be perfectly fine. So we wanted to make sure all the tests were done, and we were 100% certain this thing would last. And we got to the point, and it surpassed our expectations. It feels extremely light, the hook, and it's extremely strong. As well as we wanted the turrets on the actual unit, the rubber turrets, to be able to withstand really hard drops and be a really soft material, and yet able to not be pulled out very easily. So those were the two aspects that we saw as extremely important that we wanted to make sure got done right.
Where's the craziest place you've used it so far?
Yeah.
Well, we have a great video of it playing underwater at a local spring here. Water spraying out the speaker. And we had some fans in Mexico and scuba diving in Bonaire that sent us a bunch of footage. And you can see all that on our Facebook page if you shoot over that way.
Great. So you guys have been featured on Mashable, the Today Show, PC Magazine. Can you tell us how you leverage those media opportunities and how it's helping your brand?
So yeah, I mean, with Mashable, that was amazing. That was the first large piece of press that we got, and it was totally organic. And from there, we were able to just piggyback on it. There are a lot of different strategies and theories on how to get press. And one of the ways is by showing, hey, look, we've been picked up by these folks, and this is why you should feature us as well. We were really, really fortunate. People Magazine put us in the Style Watch, which then we were able to get on to the Today Show from as well. And from there, I mean, we've just really reached out to all the different press outlets, even small YouTube bloggers or whoever it may be, showing our product. And Splash Shower Tune's our first product. It makes sense. Everybody wants it. Everybody thinks of, hey, I listen to music in the shower. Let's make this easy. And Dan was really, really critical. He really, really got us going on the PR side. And since then have kind of slid over to a different role, of which I've taken over now. And it's difficult. It's hard work because everybody's busy and they want to know how you can help them. But it's fun.
And that's something that, John, you're doing. You're reaching out to press outlets.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And so, still people reach back out to Dan. We have a system in place in which we try to build these relationships with various reporters or bloggers or authors. And so Dan himself has created relationships in the past with folks, and they said, hey, look, you've got a great product, and we definitely want to talk about it, but not until August or not until whenever. And so it's just interesting to see those relationships being built and also being maintained through the product and through our growing brand.
Great.
All right. And now I have a question that's kind of off topic here, but it's something that's on a lot of minds of early stage startups and young entrepreneurs. And you don't have to go into the exact details, but can you guys kind of give me a glimpse of how you've determined equity? I mean, is it based on hours, capital injection? Because this argument will turn grown men into babies.
Agreed. And so I think, Adam and I, and also Cole and I, the three of us, we've done business outside of FRESHeTECH on numerous other projects, whether they be mobile applications or, in some cases, call centers for hospitality. I think a lot of it does come down to capital, but also a lot of it does come down to work experience. Adam's built or project managed probably 60 plus different mobile applications. And we've gone into deals together where he has managed and run the entire thing. And literally it was just my idea or whatever. And then the equity is just different and fluctuates all over the place. And I think that the biggest suggestion that I would have to give somebody who is getting into business with more than just one person or more than themselves is to think of the worst case scenario of the business, probably failing, and then the best case scenario. So have the highest level of expectation for yourself and for the business. Don't settle yourself short. And so whenever we started this business, we started it as a side project for beer money. And so clearly it's grown into something much more substantial, to the point where we're all employed by ourselves. We all pay each other, and we're all able to live off of what it is that we create. And that was never the thought. That was never, it grew beyond our wildest dreams. So
at what point is it okay to start paying yourselves?
That's interesting.
I think that, you want to touch on that?
I'll let you touch on that.
Well, I personally think that you need to get the business to where it's at a sustainable growth stage. So you want to make sure that the business is going to keep moving forward, even if you start to take a little bit back for yourself.
We originally started this business with a few $1,000s of internal money. We haven't raised capital and we haven't looked to raise capital in a wide scope. We've had a few opportunities that we've turned down. With that said, we took the not Silicon Valley approach, really, which is we knew if we want to keep our doors open, we have to cover our overhead, which is our salaries now. We have to make money, and we have to be able to cover our cash flow and buy inventory. And so we kind of base our numbers more or less off of that, and the idea that we don't have a bank account that is endless, and we're not looking to go and just, when we need more cash, go raise it. So we're trying to take that approach of we need to be able to grow and pay ourselves first, and then also obviously we need to make profit month after month, every single month.
Great. So now looking ahead, Cole, you mentioned that you have to ensure that the company is moving forward when you start paying yourself. What's your biggest dream for FRESHeTECH? Where do you want to see the product?
I think we want to see FRESHeTECH as a lifestyle brand that produces awesome, fresh, new things that people are really excited about. Everyone refers to the big players, Apple and so forth, and kind of that excitement of when you get the new iPhone. We want our products to be an excitement as well. And if any of you guys have anything to touch on that.
So if you want your product to be that excitement, how can people stay up to date with it and learn more?
We actually have an awesome Instagram, and we work very hard. Dan's awesome at Instagram and so forth, and also our news, our emails. Adam mentioned a little bit earlier about the way that we do our emails. We send out kind of like newsletter type emails, and I myself do a YouTube channel called Cole Mustache, and it's kind of like a corny, fun little thing that I do once a week, and it's a good time. Some of it is real corny, and some of it's pretty serious, but overall, we want to keep our customers very engaged and excited about FRESHeTECH and the new products that we're going to be coming out with in the future.
Great, and can you tell them how to reach you on social media?
Absolutely. So at Facebook, you have Facebook at FRESHeTECH. You have Instagram at FRESHeTECH as well. And then you can go to YouTube and find us at just search FRESHeTECH or Cole Mustache.
Awesome.
So, one last thing to touch on our social media, we are always prototyping new products. We're always looking at designing things in different ways. And we take a very different approach than the normal hardware company. One thing we like to do is include our customers in that experience. So all the people who are following us on social media, on our email lists, we'll design a new version of our shower speaker. We'll design a new boombox waterproof speaker concept. And we send it out to the world, and we get feedback from them because we want to engage them, and we'll receive hundreds of responses about what they like, what they don't like, what features they hope are in it, what features they don't hope are in it. And it gives us the ability to almost crowdsource an idea around our general idea, get some crowdsource specifics that make it just a better experience for the user.
That's great. So are there any new designs coming up our viewers can look forward to?
There definitely are, but they'll have to keep a lookout for them.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys so much.
It's a good chatting with you. Thanks.